A bit of a late start tonight. Just trying to organize everything so I can get on my trip tomorrow. And oh man, like I'm pretty sure I got everything I need, but I'm not sure how sure I am. It's one of those things like you're not gonna know what you're missing until you really miss it. And so I got to figure out before I go what I need, what I can take with me, and I have basically like I need clothing, I need my camera, SD cards to record on, uh, the battery for the camera, and the charger for the battery. That'll get me my interviews. I have my audio recorder too, and that'll get me my interviews at the Makerspace. That'll solve that. I have clothing I can change into, and um, what else do I need? I need clothing. I have arrangements for places to stay. I have money, ID, camera and audio recording, and probably my laptop in order to be able to do things with it. I should probably bring a book to read while I'm traveling, maybe a sketchbook to draw on. I don't know. It feels like I'm gonna forget something very important, and I won't know it until I get to like San Francisco. Like I wouldn't be worried. Like if I can get to Honolulu, like there's nothing saying I can't buy anything I'm missing. So like I could go to a store and just purchase clothing or sandals or hair care products or what other mishmash simple little crap that I find I need during the course of that time. That's not going to be hard to do. I just need to be able to change my clothes, something to eat. If one of the places I'm staying at falls through, I need to arrange another one. And like the phone and the laptop will do that. I need to be able to conduct my interviews at the Makerspace. That's everything, I think. I don't really think I need anything else. I need my tickets, of course. I know that I'll go on this trip and I'll come back and I'll be like, it's not a big deal to go traveling like this. But before I do it, I have that chronic feeling like, what am I missing? There's something important that if I miss it, it can cause a problem. So I got to figure that one out. I may, let's see, the Ant-Man and Wasp movie that I watched, I recorded that last night. So that'll get me my Tuesday movie in. Everything's making so much noise right now. That'll get me my Tuesday movie. And now I might be able to just upload that from the airport in San Francisco while I'm waiting around that night. And if I do that, and it gives me something to do while I'm there, it's probably going to be very, very slow. But I don't have anything else going on at that time, so that's okay. So I can update that on tomorrow night. And then we'll go live for Tuesday night. And I can record videos with my camera for updates while I'm traveling for food, landscape or view, and local art or culture aspects for 2 nights each of those. And then, I'll try to record them. I'll try to edit them and see if I can find a way to post them during the week. In all probability, I could probably do maybe once or twice. I'll have access to Wi-Fi enough that I can upload videos during the day, and then if I'm at the makerspace, I should be able to use their Wi-Fi to upload something while I'm there. And then, like, maybe the library or the airport would be a secondary option for a Wi-Fi access that I could access during the week before I depart. And then next Monday night, that's when I'll be back in San Francisco again for an evening. And I'll maybe update while I'm there. And then last flight into Logan in Boston. I'll get back up here from Logan in time to update from here, I imagine. I may end up, skewing the time on it a little, because if I get back and I'm exhausted, I might just do a quick recorded half-hour thing and then throw that to upload while I sleep off the exhaustion that I'm more than likely to have. I've got the clothes. I've got socks, underwear, shirts, Hawaiian shirts, and shorts. And I will be wearing my long pants tomorrow so that I'm not cold getting there. And I will have them to wear again when I'm coming back. I just can't help the feeling like I'm forgetting something important. Like, I do know I should probably go pick up some food to eat on the way to the plane. And once I'm done on the plane in San Francisco, I'm sure they've got snack vendors there that I can get something from there to last me through the night. And then, I have to probably get something early in the next morning before I depart again. So I don't run out of fuel for my day. I may have to take a nap on the plane too. I should probably restock minutes on my phone at some point. But it's not 2:15, so it needs to update. And I need to upload or download an app for communicating with a couple of people I need to communicate with while I'm out there. It's just another minor inconvenience to figure that all out. There we go. Yeah, I should probably add, I'll add some minutes before I go. Why does this feel so stressful? Like, why is the traveling the stressful part of this all? I don't know. I'll get used to it again, I imagine. I was doing some research earlier today when talking with some people about the costs of travel depending on what month, week, day kind of situation you can find. And I've got a couple of those online services that you can look up and find like really, really cheap flights. And so I was just punching in numbers as just playing around and finding cheap flights. And like, honestly, if I planned it right, I could go to Japan for as little as $300. Like, that's awesome. Like, I should be doing that. I think I would probably need to secure a little bit more funding to do that. I don't have any funding. Who am I kidding? I'm chewing up my savings accounts doing things like this. But yeah, I mean, I was looking at what it would cost to go to other countries, and this is so much more doable than I really thought. Now, it all depends on a given month and year. Like next year is the year of the Olympics. And if I try to get to Japan within a few weeks of the Olympics, so like on either side of the Olympics, I would almost guarantee that the costs of flying there would be triple what it would be in the middle of, say, October this year. Like October this year, it's going to be cheap as all get out. And so like I'm looking at like the ones that I want to do for my world trip are still debating about Rio, because I hear mixed messages about whether or not it's even safe for people like me to go to. Like if you don't live there, you don't need to be there, kind of thing, is what I hear from some people. Meanwhile, it looks like it's a tourist attraction for people to go to, and it seems like many people do just fine. So like, I don't know, I might give it a go. And so Rio's somewhere maybe on that list. Japan, India, United Arab Emirates, Germany, Paris, London, Canada in time to get back to the US in time for an event. And I've got it set up in a timeline where, like, when I depart from the West Coast United States, it'll be like on a certain date after an event that's something I want to attend. And then it's hopping. And then there's the sister event to that event happening in New York City. And if I time it right, with about a week for each stop, I can get to New York City right in time for their version of the event. And I was like, that would be the perfect adventure, I think. That would work out just about right. But I was doing research, and it looks like the order I can do them in, for the most part, makes some sense, going from Japan, India, Dubai, Berlin, Paris, London, Toronto makes the most sense. Getting Rio in there is sort of out in the middle of nowhere. And so getting a ticket from the US to Rio is expensive. Getting a ticket from Toronto to Rio is expensive. Getting a ticket from London to Rio is cheap. But then getting a ticket from Rio to the US is expensive. Like, there's no easy timeline to make that all work out easily that I can think of. So I'm bouncing around a few other alternatives in my head about reordering some of that. I might go the other way. I might go US to UK, and then track all the way down to Japan in late September of 2020, and use that to snag Toronto and then New York City from Japan. That might work. It's hard to say. I have to figure some of that out, but I've got time. I've got a year and a half to figure that part out. This trip to Hawaii, I've got about 12 hours before I need to be at the bus station to start this whole leg of the journey. So I'll get up early tomorrow. It'll be a bit of a scramble. I have to edit and post a tutorial online for Instructables tonight. So I got to do that. before I go to bed. And then, what else am I doing tonight? Like I need to start a load of laundry once it's possible to do it without interfering with audio. And then, like I sort of packed the bag mostly with everything I need at this point. I'm probably going to go back over it like 4 or 5 times just to make sure. So I'm trying to go with 1 bag. I don't want to pay for an extra bag. I don't want to have to keep track of an extra bag. I don't want to have to lug around 3 bags with me everywhere I go. 1 bag, done. That would be the ideal. Okay, so I'm gonna have some cash, some my debit card, my smartphone with minutes charged on it. I have a list I think I wrote here, so I gotta keep track of this. I'm a nervous traveler. I can't help it, but so I got the clothing. I will pack a small roll-up bag that can fit inside the other bag. So if it comes to it, I can add carrying capacity. But if I don't need it, it just rolls up and fits inside the bag. And when I'm in Honolulu, if it comes to it and I get too much and I can't bring it all with me on the plane, I can pack it in a box and mail it back home. That's not too bad. So I'll bring a book, some ID, debit card, keys to the house, and keys to the car. Phone, cash, tickets. Okay, we did that's that. Freed some space on some SD cards for recording. I've got so much data on storage systems right now that, like, all I can do is free up a little space here and there. Like, if I don't want to risk losing data, I can't just run it all over the place right now. I just have to back up a few things, open up a little space on a SD card, and hope that's good enough. I need to download the app, upload some content, make, edit, post. Well, I might not do. Yeah, I might not do my regular content. Well, I'll give it a shot. I'll look at it. I mean, I'll have time at the airport tomorrow, so I may do an update for a book and a movie while I'm traveling. So, and then when I get back, that night might be board game night, and then that Thursday will probably be a product or service. So I think that's everything I need to take care of. I got to be at the bus station at the right time. Got to get the right amount of food for me to be able to survive the trip. Man, it's part of it is I have not been on a plane in 20 years, more than 20 years probably, and so like I've forgotten how to do this, and I've never in the last 20 years. Well, that's not true. I was going to say I haven't been to a place where I didn't have control over my own ability to move around and get back. Like, I drove to just about everywhere that I've been in the last 5 years, at least. But there is one occasion about 5 years, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, where I went down to New York City and I got very, very sick. But I took a bus down. And so here I am trapped in the middle of New York City, violently ill, not sure I can get to a place where I'm supposed to stay, looking for places with public bathrooms that I can stay close to while I figure out what I need to do. And I was like, that was terrifying. That was very, very difficult for me to do. and I kind of don't want to have a repeat of that experience. But that was like the one occasion in the last 5, maybe even 15 years in which I didn't have the ability to just leave on my own accord and be able to take myself back to where I know I can be safely taken care of. So, like, this is a big departure for me. It's an interesting adventure. We'll see how I do. Like, my life in the last month and a half does not offer anything to suggest I can't do this. And if anything, it suggests this should be fairly straightforward. Meanwhile, my reasoning part of my brain isn't necessarily convincing my anxiety. So, having to confront a little bit of that. I still just keep having moments of like, what am I doing? Like, why am I doing this to myself? But the thing is, I know that once I've done it, once I'm actually there, I'll figure it out. I'll be able to handle it just fine. And, once I'm back, I'll be like, it wasn't a big deal. But I'm not there yet. I can't get past the unknown unknowns being something hanging on my brain. All right, so I'm probably going to call it real quick here soon because I have some things I still need to do to prepare for the night. So I think that's as good a place as any to call it. Not a lot to update because the trip is the big thing on the list right now, and that's all happening in the next 28 to 32 hours. Once I'm there, then it's just exploring and having an adventure and sharing whatever I'm able to share while I'm doing that. Once I'm back from there, I should be able to get back on a regular schedule again. All right, well, here's hoping tomorrow goes well. I know I have to get up early and shovel the car out of the snow. So I'll try to get everything done tonight that I can. I'll hopefully see you tomorrow for some amount of it. All right, so that's